At a family dinner, my parents stared right at me and said, "You're the most useless child we have." That's the moment My name is Sophia Ingram, and I'm 34 years old. Last summer, I walked into my parents' Desert Ridge home in Phoenix, my heart pounding. I was ready to share 2 pieces of news, hoping they would finally make them proud. The dining room hummed with conversation. My parents, my brother, and my sister were all seated, their usual smug satisfaction in place. I took a deep breath, about to speak, when my father's voice cut through the air like a blade. The room fell silent. My mother smirked. My sister's lips curled into a derisive grin. Every eye was on me. In that moment, I could have fought back, shouted, insisted on being heard. Instead, I chose something different. A slow, deliberate smile that made their expressions falter. Without a word, I stood, picked up my purse, and walked out into the warm Arizona night. That night, I made a simple yet powerful decision, one that would redefine everything. And none of them were prepared for what came next. What about you? If you were in my place, would you stay silent or fight back? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Growing up in our Desert Ridge house in Phoenix, I always felt like an outsider. My older brother, Steven, was the favored son, a software engineer who could do no wrong. My older sister, Cheryl, was the darling daughter, a real estate lawyer with a flashy downtown office. Then there was me, Sophia, the middle child, struggling to be seen in their shadows. My parents, especially my dad, James, never let me forget it. They'd lavish praise on Steven's tech awards or Cheryl's latest property deal. But my work, organizing events, weddings, corporate galas, charity fundraisers, barely registered. "That's cute, Sophia," my mom Diane would say, her tone laced with dismissive disdain. "But when are you going to get a real job?" I'd swallow my frustration. Knowing they didn't see the late nights I pulled coordinating vendors or the clients who raved about my work. Despite their indifference, I'd built a thriving career. By 34, I'd climbed to project manager at a top event planning firm in Phoenix. Last spring, my boss called me into her office, beaming. "Sophia, you've been absolutely crushing it," she said, handing me a promotion letter. Senior project manager, with a raise that significantly boosted my savings. I was ecstatic, not just for the title, but for what it truly meant. I'd done this on my own. Then there was Evan, my fiancé, a history teacher who brought me immense joy. We'd gotten engaged a month before, picking out a simple ring that felt perfectly us. I yearned to tell my family, foolishly hoping that this time they might truly see me. But with that hope came a familiar knot of anxiety. Family dinners at our Desert Ridge house were never just about food. They were a platform for my dad to flaunt Steven's latest app launch or Cheryl's $1 million condo deal, while I faded into the background. I'd been financially propping them up for years, writing checks to cover their bills when things got tight, like the $1,500 a month for their mortgage or the $3,000 for my dad's heart surgery. They never asked how I managed it. They simply took. My grandfather, Edward, was the only one who ever noticed. "You're doing too much for them, kid," he'd say, shaking his head during our Sunday calls. I dismissed his concerns, thinking family was supposed to support each other. That summer, I drove to their house, my promotion letter tucked in my purse, Evan's ring sparkling on my hand. I'd meticulously